All right, let's move along. Speaking of UFC 229, it is rapidly approaching. October 6th, Las Vegas, one of the biggest nights in UFC history. Everyone's going to be there, tons of fans, shaping up to be one of the biggest nights in terms of business is concerned, maybe number 2 behind the debut at Madison Square Garden. And one thing that I've always thought more promotions should do is take a page out of pro wrestling. When there's a big event, a WrestleMania, so to speak, you see all these other promotions the night before hold events, 2 nights before hold events. We've seen it a little bit here and there, but it's not a common occurrence. Well, someone is smart enough to do that at UFC 229 during UFC 229 Fight Week. And here to talk to us about that is the one and only Urijah Faber, our good friend, the California Kid. Urijah, how are you?
What's up, Ariel? How are you?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you joining us. First time on the new show, but we've obviously been talking for quite some time, and this is an exciting thing going on. And I think a lot of people are curious as to what you're going to announce because just a couple of days ago, you posted a thing on Instagram. Oh, I still get USADA, drug test just in case with a wink, wink emoji. By the way, before we get into the announcement, why do you do that? Why do you keep letting them come into your life? Isn't it annoying?
A wink, wink emoji?
Yeah.
I didn't do that, did I?
You did some kind of emoji. You said USADA's still coming and just in case or something like that, right?
Yeah, that's right. Well, first off, I've never done any drugs, so it's not that big. I mean, every once in a while I get woke up at 6 a.m. or whatever, which is fine, but I don't have to do any lifestyle change aside from that. And you never know what could happen. I'm a 39-year-old guy, and if an opportunity knocks, you always want to be ready. If you take yourself out of USADA, then you have to wait like a form because of things that have happened in the past with, I think, what's his name? Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
You have to wait 4 months before you can compete again. So, I just always want to stay ready. I'm still in great shape. I'm in practice every day, hanging out and having a good time. But I'm competing here coming up, and I'm pumped about it. And I don't know if many people know about it. It's pretty big in Japan. It's an event called Quintet. And Sakuraba, the legend, UFC Hall of Famer, and, Pride and MMA legend, started this awesome, in his own fashion, competition, which is a 5-on-5 competition. And you have to weigh under a certain amount of weight, 943 pounds. I'm not sure what that is in kilos. And we're putting a team together and going to go compete against a bunch of other studs. I think Josh Barnett is on. Sakuraba's on that team. There's a Polaris team. There's a couple other teams. And it's a really fun dynamic. So I'm pumped about it. They called us and wanted me to put a team together. And I'm like, do it, man. Jiu-jitsu is what I'm doing to stay in shape these days anyways. And I feel like I'm getting better at it. So it's time to go.
Okay, so this is very exciting. Let me fill in some of the holes here. October 5th, Las Vegas, Orleans Arena, the night before UFC 229, so tons of people are going to be looking for something to do. This promotion called Quintet, which is led by the great Kazushi Sakuraba. It's kind of, if you're a pro wrestling fan, I know you love pro wrestling, right? It's sort of like Survivor Series. It's 5-on-5, right? Elimination style. This is amazing.
You're right about that, but I mean, I don't love pro wrestling, but I know you probably do.
Oh, who doesn't? So this is what it means. You mentioned, so I was told under 950 pounds. You heard 943?
Yeah, something like that.
All right.
I guess that matters.
Yeah, well, it does matter because that means is you have 5 people on your team. The combined weight of the team can't be above, let's say 945 for the sake of this. So it's not like you can stack the deck with a bunch of heavyweights, right? It has to be sort of equally distributed. And 2 guys from each team start off competing on the mat until either one is eliminated by submission. The winner then stays on to face the next member of the opposing team, or the 8-minute time limit expires and both guys are eliminated. This process plays out. I'm just going to read the rules here quickly. This process plays out until all 5 members of one team are eliminated, handing victory to the other team. The winning team then all return for the finale match against the winning team of the other semifinal. That's incredible. This is fun.
Yeah, no, this is so much fun. When they first started talking to me about it, and I've had a bunch of grappling matches set up, and I've had to put them on halt because, I had one that was going to be in UK that was the same date as Sage and Chad's fight. And when this opportunity came up, I started watching on Fight Pass, and I was like, dude, this is crazy, man. It looked like so much fun. And you can get mismatches in there, so I could go up against like a Josh Barnett, for example. And if there's 44 pounds difference, so for me and Josh Barnett, I weigh 158, 161 pounds, and he's 250 or whatever he weighs, it would only be a 4-minute match. And if he can't submit me, then we're both eliminated. Or I could try to submit him also, and I can eliminate him and go on. But it makes for fun. It's like, it really is like human chess. You know, we always say fighting is like human chess, but this new little dynamic is funny. And I love that Sakuraba's idea. That guy's martial arts genius. I love his spirit when it comes to mixed martial arts.
Now, word on the street is, so there's going to be a Team Alpha Male. There's going to be 5 members. You're going to be a part of it. I do believe Dustin Akbari is going to be a part of it. But word on the street is, Urijah, that a young man named Chris Holdsworth is going to be a part of this as well. Is that accurate?
You know what? I just got off the phone with Chris about it, and he said how much money's involved.
Uh-oh.
And so I just basically pitched him on it. And so I would love to see him compete. You know, I mean, we're stacking the deck with smaller guys, but I would love to see Chris. I mean, he's a killer in the jiu-jitsu world, and we haven't seen him compete for a while. So that would be awesome if we can get him out there to do it. We've got bringing in a guy, Fabio Prado is helping me put the team together. He's our jiu-jitsu coach alongside Dustin Akbari, and he's got a guy that is trained with him on occasion, Anton Jode, who's a heavyweight for us, and we're trying to fill in the blanks between which guys we're going to put in. So I think, you know, it becomes really strategic, because if we have a guy, I mean, I would love to have even like a Chad Mendes. Nobody's going to submit that guy, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to submit some of these heavyweights and whatnot. So we could stack it with heavier guys or some mid-level guys or a bunch of lightweight guys. It really makes you think.
Let me run down some of the other names. Team Sakuraba has Sakuraba himself, Josh Barnett, Marco Souza, and Roberto Souza. They've got one more to add. Team Polaris has Craig Jones, Gregor Gracie, Marcin Held, Dan Strauss, and one more TBA. Then there's Team 10th Planet, and they won Quintet number 2, Gio Martinez, Richie Martinez, PJ Bark, Adam Saknov, and Amir Allen. And then the 4th team is Team Alpha Male. This is exciting stuff. All happening one night only. October 5th, the night before UFC 229. I feel like you're going to get a lot of fans who are in town for Conor versus Khabib who are going to come check out your event because they're going to want to do something. It's brilliant.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I'm excited to compete, man. I've been itching to compete. I had that one grappling match, and I had prior obligations. I was on a boat trip with Chad Mendes, Fins and Feathers, and then I was filming that movie for Rampage, and then I basically didn't have a fair chance to train, and I still had an amazing match with Paulo Miao. We had 6 overtimes, and Chael Sonnen put that event on in Oregon, and I've been itching to compete ever since then. So this will be fun. I might get to mix it up with some heavyweights. I was curious how I'd do with some heavyweight guys, because in practice it's a tit for tat. Like, some guys are stronger, some guys are slower. Speed matters in jiu-jitsu too. So I'm excited to get in there, and I'm glad there's no heel hooks, because you can rip somebody's knee out of socket if you're going with mismatched sizes on that front.
Now, what about the heavyweight component here? Like, are you going to look to, there's not a lot of heavyweights that train at Team Alpha Male, one of the greatest gyms of all time as far as letterweight fighters are concerned, but are we looking to maybe get a hired gun heavyweight to join the squad for one night only?
Yeah. I mentioned the guy's name, Anton Jode. That's one of Fabio's guys that he's bringing to the table for us. And Fabio Prado is one of our jiu-jitsu instructors. He's not going to be able to compete, but he's a bigger guy. And we have some bigger guys that are on the team that you probably haven't heard of. But we're trying to put that together. So Anton Jode is going to represent for us.
Okay.
He's 235.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He's an Olympic wrestler from Brazil, and also a black belt in jiu-jitsu. So we're bringing him in. And then it's Dustin Akbari and myself talking about Holdsworth, if he wants to do it or not. And then we have a couple other guys that are options for the 5th guy. and we're excited, man. This is going to be a good time.
For something like this, do you have to train a lot, or is it just kind of like, okay, let's just go and do it? Like, are you actually specifically training for it like you would for a fight?
Well, I train jiu-jitsu probably every other day. I mean, that's my favorite way of getting in shape, and I even sparred a little bit, boxing the last couple months, and just here and there when I get in with Song Yadong and some of these young guys. Did a round with Cody before his fight. But for me, it just turns the notch up on jiu-jitsu. I'll probably do a little bit of strength and conditioning, but I'm always in shape. I don't think an 8-minute match or I mean, you could, in theory, you submit everyone, you could go all the way through 5 guys, but I think that's pretty slim to none on my shoulders. But I'm going to be getting in shape and doing a lot of jiu-jitsu, going with different sized guys and having fun.
Speaking of Cody, again, another tough night for him against TJ Dillashaw. Did that one sting? How did you take that one in? Given like this drama, and how did you react to it?
Well, the drama's kind of subsided as far as I'm concerned. I mean, the separation's been gone for a long time with how long ago TJ left the team and everything else. But yeah, of course that stings. It stings for Cody. I mean, he seems to be in a great spot. He loves being a dad, and he's pretty upbeat and seems to be doing well. But yeah, it stings. It's just motivation to get these next guys going, and hopefully Cody gets a fire back to get back in the gym, and he's only 27 years old, and he can decide to reclimb that ladder when he's ready. But yeah, just a motivation to get these next generation going, and of course you never like your guys to lose, but it is what it is. It's the real world in a tough sport. It wasn't the smartest, fight. It got into an emotional state, I think, for Cody right away. He tasted a little blood early, and it was kind of a repeat of the first fight. So you got to learn from that, absolutely.
Are you hopeful? Do you want to maybe clear the air with TJ now that this is over? Do you want to go back to how things were? Do you think that will never happen?
How things were?
Yeah,
I mean, that's a far stretch.
Why?
I've got a. How things were.
Like when you guys were teammates.
Shifting. Yeah, nothing says like getting passing, like moving on, and I think I've moved on a long time ago, and I'm sure he's moved on a long time ago. I've got plenty of good friends, and he's got his surroundings as well. So I'm not trying to like rekindle old relationships or anything like that. But I'll be cordial to the guy, absolutely, and it is what it is. But I'm not trying to like rekindle a relationship. No.
Okay. How do you feel about the state of the team right now? There was the Bang era and the Campman era, and I know Buckholtz left. Do you feel like we're in a good spot right now with the team, with the coaching staff, with the crop of fighters that you have? Mendez coming back looking great. Sage with a phenomenal win recently as well. How do you feel about the state of the team?
Yeah, I'm super excited about the team. I think it's funny because it's a great time to it's a great time for anybody who has anything negative to say when a big high profile fight is lost. But our team is an incredible place. Sorry, getting another call. Is an incredible place right now. We're excited about some of these young guys like Song Yadong and Sage, and there's a kid named Cleo Romero that I've mentioned quite a bit, and Alex Munoz and Chris Gonzalez, on top of guys like the staple guys, Chad coming back, and Rick Glenn coming off a big win, and Feely was pretty upset. He felt he won that last fight. He's hungrier than ever now. So I think the team is in an incredible spot. The addition to Lee Kemp has been great for us. I don't know if you know who Lee Kemp is, but he's one of the most successful wrestlers in the history of the U.S., and his mentality, he coached the 2008 Olympics to a victory, and his mentality is just like, life accomplishments are great. We've got a couple other stand-up coaches that have really started to shine, Mike Malott, and I've got a kid, out of Russia, Slava, who's a couple-time world champion kickboxer who's been contributing. We've got another kickboxing world champ from Brazil who's in town. So it's been a good time, and those losses, especially the high-profile ones where everyone's watching, it can be a kick to the gut. But you don't judge your own ability on someone else's performance. It's just not something that you do. So our guys are motivated and excited, and we're pretty positive about how everything's going.
There was a lot of drama when a protege of yours, Angelo Trevino, fought Mr. Van Zant, Austin Vanderfort. What went wrong there with Angelo? And they booked it so perfect. I mean, the UFC says they don't like the drama. I mean, they couldn't have scripted anything better than that with with Paige's fiance. How did you feel being a part of that? And what went wrong with Angelo? He seemed to start off well, but then of course got caught in the second.
Yeah, that was all conditioning. It looked like for some of these guys, Angelo Trevino, and I've been having to give some hard lessons to these younger cats. Angelo Trevino has been with us for a very long time, and there's kind of a list of guys that have done that, started since they're kids. And then we have guys that come in from the other parts of the world that are, paying to be here and won't miss a practice. And then you have other guys that are kind of feel like, at 24, Angelo's been here since he's 14, 13. Feel like, things have slowed down. Gets a job, this and that. So we had to get him into practice from the job for his big opportunity, which he deserves because he's put in so much time. But the conditioning caught up with him. I mean, he almost finished. I mean, could have almost been stopped. Vanderfort showed a lot of heart and stuck it out in the first round. And the fatigue got to Angelo, which is a great lesson for these guys. You got to be training all year round. You can't, let opportunities slip because the real world sets in. Get a job, sure, do this, but you got to show up, and you got to be training all year round. So I think that caught up with them. On top of Austin being a tough cat. I mean, he went through some real adversity and was able to overcome a guy that almost had him out in the first round.
I didn't get my save the date yet for the wedding. Did you get it yet?
What's that?
The wedding, the Vanderfort Van Zant wedding. I didn't get my save the date yet. Did you get it?
I don't think so. I haven't checked my mail in about 13 years. I have someone that usually does that. There's probably a pile. There's probably a pile, but right. I'll have to go and check again. But no, I didn't get a save the date. They're close on making that happen.
It's like in a couple of weeks. It's like end of September.
Yeah, so I didn't get to save the date. Nope.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I don't feel as bad now. Quintet.
Yeah.
October 5th, Las Vegas. The night before UFC 229. By the way, you can get tickets right now at quintet-fight.com and then later on this week over at ticketmaster.com. 5-on-5 elimination style submission grappling. You got Team Sakuraba, Team Polaris, Team 10th Planet, and for the very first time, Team Alpha Male. If Holdsworth doesn't want in, I'll go in. Could you imagine?
Yeah, let's get you in there. Yeah, we would have an Olympic basketball player.
Yes, Jewish Olympic, by the way. Jewish
Olympic basketball player on the team. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. All right.
And how's this show going, man? How's the new show? I need to catch up, man. Change is hard, isn't it?
It is hard.
I got to find all the new
trust me,
all the new ways to keep up to date with you.
You and I both. I'm sure Mr. Faber. I'm sure Mr. Faber has been a loyal watcher, listener since we moved over. Right? He's keeping you up to date.
I'm sure he has. Yeah, I get a little Ariel said this or said that on occasion. So
that's my guy.
Hey, by the way, I need to get you on my podcast.
Oh,
we launched it.
Okay.
And I was stockpiling those podcasts for a little while, just meeting interesting people and whatnot.
Okay.
But
anytime.
I would love to be able to turn you around and
please
and ask questions and figure out how you made it to the Jewish Olympics.
Yes.
And
anytime.
How you became you're undefeated and reporters of the year for the
eight in a row.
The MMA awards.
Yep.
8 in a row.
Yep.
Hear about the kids and the family and how come you always shun your brother's successful business out of jealousy or whatever it is.
It's his birthday today. Happy birthday to David.
Hey, David, happy birthday, buddy.
There you
don't
go.
Let your brother, don't let your brother keep you under a cover, guy.
All right.
It's your time to shine now.
Anytime. Just set it up with my assistant. We'll make it happen.
All right, I'll have my people call your people.
Yeah, well, I was just doing it to you because I always have to set it up with your assistant, the great Candy. But no, I don't have an assistant. You know my number. And I would be honored. Honestly, I would be honored.
Okay, and so that was a joke.
Oh.
I honestly would miss this conversation if I didn't have someone else put in my schedule because I'm going a million miles per hour.
I know.
Nothing. Yeah, you know how it is. But it's good to talk to you, buddy.
Thank you, Uriah.
The bad guy.
I will be there October 5th. I look forward to being there in person and watching it all unfold. Quintet, I appreciate you doing this.
You got it, buddy. My pleasure.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. There he is, the one and only Urijah Faber, the California kid himself. Again, October 5th, Orleans in Las Vegas, the night before UFC 229. It's called Quintet, Sakuraba's promotion, and it airs on Fight Pass. I've seen it before. It's a lot of fun. It's very much like the Survivor Series, 5-on-5. If you lose, you're out. And there are some big names involved. Faber, Sakuraba, Josh Barnett. I thought Chris Holdsworth, but now it seems as though he's a TBA. Gregor Gracie, Marcin Held, to name a few. I think that's great. They need to do this. This is like when Ring of Honor has a show the night before WrestleMania, or what's the other? Evolve, right? Like if I was Invicta, I would try to plan. They did it a couple times. They did it once in Vegas before, 189. They did it before 184 in Los Angeles. You got to do this sort of thing. It's very important. Try to get the audience to come to you.